Making a lasting change in your life, whether it be in your personal life, whether it be in your financial life, whether it be in your spiritual life, is something that we're all trying to do if we have a growth mindset. I've been going through my own personal issues. Finances have been pretty great, but personally, I'm, going through it. And so I'm looking for ways to affect change in my life. In this video, I'm gonna give you some really interesting research that I was able to find on how to make yourself into a new version of yourself. So if you're right now, your version is you have a terrible relationship with your spouse, you don't make enough money, you don't have any relationship with your creator. If this is kind of like what you're dealing with, that's a version of you. And there could be a much different version of you available, right? So what are the processes, what are the steps, what are the things that you need to do to leave this dude behind and to become another one? So in this video, I'm gonna give you 3 practical tips on what you can do to make an identity shift. Now, I do wanna give credit to Clark Kegley. I researched and I found his insights incredible. So this is a regurgitation on things that I've learned, and I've added in my own spin. Let's get to it. There's a 3-step process, and I want you guys to write this down if this is something that you're truly wanting to affect in your life. If you truly want to affect change in your life, then you have to look at this from this perspective. And it's a 3-step approach. Now, the first step is reinventing yourself. Okay, looking at an example of who you want to be in life. Who out there do you strive to be like? And please don't say me, okay? Because there's parts of me that I'm also trying to greatly improve. On a financial level, fine. You can say to me, hey, I want to be like that guy in a financial level. I want to be able to have money being made in my world while I sleep. I want to make millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, and I want to be able to help thousands of people. Fine, but there's still aspects of me that I think that you guys should not be taking on. Right? So find your hero. And it doesn't have to be one. It can be a blend of people. It can be a blend of people. So if you look at it and you say, okay, from my financial perspective, I want to be like that man. And from a spiritual perspective, I want to be like this woman or like this man. From an emotional and a relationship perspective, I want to be like this. I want to emulate. I want to have this relationship. You have to have a vision of what you want to be in order for you to be that. So create your Voltron, create your superhuman, and identify what those characteristics are. And understand that if you could wake up in that person's body and be in that person's life, that's who you should be talking about. Once you've identified what that Voltron version of yourself is, I want you to understand, and I want you to think about what are the things that you would do that would make you proud? What are the things that you would do that would make you proud on a day-to-day basis? If it's hard for you to really identify what this is, there's another approach to determining or finding out what it is you're trying to reinvent yourself into. And Clark had talked about asking this question to yourself in a way that you just give yourself the freedom to be honest with the answer. What are you afraid to ask of from God, but you secretly want so bad? What is that? What is that thing? Maybe it's what you want to be a model. I don't whatever it is, like be really, really audacious here, right? Like for instance, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a gangster rapper. I don't know if you guys could probably pick that up off of me from just my style, the 90s vibe, all the Tupac stuff, but that's what I wanted to be. And then I very quickly realized that you're probably not going to get far as a gangster rapper being an Indian guy from Calgary, Alberta. Not going to really resonate well with the guys out in LA doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? So, but when I tried to pick up a mic and rhyme, guess what happened? Everybody laughed. And I was like, oh, maybe I could be a comedian. Maybe that's my thing, right? So what is the thing that you secretly want but you're afraid to ask for. What is that? What is that version of you? The next step is to release, because there's a version of you right now that's holding you back. There are habits, behaviors, feelings, thoughts, and emotions that are holding you in the current level you're living at. So releasing that character and those traits is, he used this example of a hot air balloon, right? And I love the example, and so I want to share it. But if you want the hot air balloon to take flight, right, you got to fill it up with air. You got to fill it up with hot air. And again, in this balloon gets bigger and 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 bigger. And then finally, it feels like it wants to take flight, but what's holding it down? The sandbags. There's all these sandbags that they hold, that they use to hold these hot air balloons down. So then what do? They untie them. And what happens? Away you go. So the character traits that you're holding on to right now, are those behaviors, are your sandbags. So let's talk about that a little bit, because that's a lot where this like shadow self comes in, right? The things that we do to sabotage ourselves, the things that we do daily, that are subconscious or unconscious, because there's the difference here, right? There's conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. The studies have shown that 95% of our thoughts are subconscious, and that we're having like 60 to 70,000 of these buggers a day. So then your entire life mind is like being controlled by something not consciously you. So we've got to take those subconscious behaviors, beliefs, thoughts that aren't serving us, and we have to reinstall new ones. If in your new identity version of yourself, what things does that person no longer do? So what areas of yourself do you need to release? And it is our stories, right? Our stories about ourselves and who we are that can come back to haunt us and sabotage us. It's a really good idea for you to write this down, write these things down, because the physical process of writing stuff actually brings it into the world in reality. Much more real than like typing it into your phone or just like mentally notching it off, right? Now you can do this self-discovery by yourself, and some of the ways that you can, deeply identify some of your core stories and some of the negative characteristics that you're holding on to can be found in mindfulness meditation, by closing your eyes and not trying to not think, but to pay attention to what you are thinking. Saying things out loud, like having a conversation with yourself, is incredibly powerful. And maybe it's taking the form of leaving yourself a voice memo and then texting it to yourself and then listening to that back at yourself to hear you say to you what you want to accomplish, what you want to do. Now, don't be afraid to do this with other people as well. So if there's somebody in your life who knows you really well, seek counsel from them. Ask them to point out to you the characteristics of yourself that they believe are holding you back. Because believe me, your friends got a mouthful of stuff that they think about you. Maybe even your spouse or significant other can help you with that. Think about all the things they say to you when they're mad at you. All those things that come out that you do, right? Well, you do those things. So it's actually super important for you to get a handle on it. And they're not doing that and saying that to nag at you. They're doing it and saying it because these are parts about you that make them feel disconnected and not want to be around you. I highly recommend, if you have the money, to have a therapist. No joke. If you have the financial capacity to go to therapy, man. Heal yourself. Heal yourself. It's such BS. I see men out there, talking down about men who go to therapy. And I think that if there's somebody in your ear even remotely like that, walk away from that person. The third step in an identity shift is reconfirming this version of yourself to yourself. Here's the thing. When you constantly break integrity with yourself, you start to develop the identity of a liar, of somebody who can't be counted on, who can't be trusted. So if you said, I'm going to start doing my outreach on Monday morning, and I'm going to make, come hell or high water, I'm going to have my 50 conversations today. I'm going to put my 10 offers out today. And then if you wake up and don't do that, you've broken integrity with yourself. And you're reconfirming not the version of you that is a successful wholesaler. No, you're reconfirming the version of you who always lets themselves down. There's a Native American parable about how there are two wolves having a battle within us, a dark one and a light one. And it's this like celestial battle that's going on inside of your shadow and your light. And this little boy asks his grandfather, who's telling him the story, who wins? And it's exactly as Sharon said, it's the one you feed. So if the version of you that doesn't wake up on time to do your exercise, do your meditation, get into your priming activities, and then get your butt in the seat to do work, right? If you are continuously breaking that, you fed the wrong wolf. You fed the version of yourself that is going to continue to struggle financially, that is going to continue to break integrity, continue to blame others and be a victim, but you're only a victim of yourself. So reconfirming those behaviors is how you actually morph into that new identity. Because you know that there's specific things that the version of you that's financially free does. That person eats better. That person lives better. That person feels better. That person has better sex. That person has better relationships. That person is 10 times the person you are. I apologize if that word offended anybody. I was trying to be, it's biology, whatever. We're adults here, hopefully, except for Swayam. Well, he's an adult now too, so it's all good. Reconfirming those behaviors, reconfirming those traits. And what happens is every day that you reconfirm that version of you, that's who you become. And one day you'll wake up and like so many of us in this community who have like actually done it. You're the new one. You're the new version. You're the one who wins. You're the one who did it. And I'm telling you that when you actually do that, because I've had an identity shift before, I've done this work to get here. But now I'm at a plateau. Now I'm at a place right now I no longer feel comfortable in. I need to grow out of here. There's a lot of opportunities for us to truly impact not only our families, but the entire world. Every one of us on this call has a higher purpose. Every one of us. This isn't reserved for a select few. It's not. It's for every single one of us. So be that person. Get out there and get it done. So there you have it. There's a way to create a meaningful transformation in your life. I hope that this is effective for you, and let me know how it works. I'm curious. I'm experimenting with the process myself. And if you got any value from this, do me a favor and like this video and subscribe to the channel, because it really helps. And I want more of you to like this stuff. Bye. Oh yeah, and watch this video coming up right here. This is a good one.